This LOS is describe different inventory valuation methods, cost formulas. Inventory valuation methods. Both IFRS and US GAAP allow companies to use the following inventory valuation methods: specific identification, first in, first out, FIFO, and weighted average cost. US GAAP allow companies to use an additional method, last in, first out, LIFO. A company must use the same inventory valuation method for all items that have a similar nature and use. For items with a different nature or use, a different inventory valuation method can be used. So starting with specific identification, think of Rolls-Royce, high-value items. We know exactly the cost of each unit that is sold, okay? First in, first out, FIFO. FIFO assumes that the oldest goods purchased or manufactured are sold first, and the newest goods purchased or manufactured remain in ending inventory. In periods of rising prices, the costs assigned to the units in ending inventory are higher than the costs assigned to the units sold, because it's first in, first out. So when prices are rising, what's left in inventory, they're the most recent items, they have the higher cost. So you're going to have a higher inventory and a lower cost of goods sold compared to LIFO. Weighted average cost is simply the total cost of goods available for sale divided by the total units available for sale. Continuing with the inventory valuation methods, last in, first out, LIFO. LIFO is permitted only under US GAAP. This method assumes that the newest goods purchased or manufactured are sold first, and the oldest goods purchased or manufactured, including beginning inventory, remain in the ending inventory. In periods of rising prices, the costs assigned to the units in the ending inventory are lower than the costs assigned to the units sold. So as I mentioned here, the best way to tackle these questions is to set up the trustee T accounts. So there's a bit of an example in the textbook in the blue box, and we're going to just look at that put into the T accounts. So Global Sales Inc. is a hypothetical distributor of consumer products, including bars of Violet Essence soap. The soap is sold by the kilogram. GSI began operations in 2009, during which it purchased and received initially 100,000 kilograms of soap at 110 won per kilogram, then 200,000 kilograms of soap at 100 won per kilogram, and finally 300,000 kilograms of soap at 90 won per kilogram. GSI sold 520,000 kilograms of soap at 240 won per kilogram. GSI stores its soap in its warehouse so that soap from each shipment received is readily identifiable. During 2009, the entire 100,000 kilograms from the first shipment received, 180,000 kilograms of the second shipment received, and 240,000 kilograms of the final shipment received was sent to customers. That's the 520,000 kilograms that they sold. Okay, we'll just go through the example in the text. On the left-hand side here, I did a T account for the units or kilograms, and on the right-hand side, I have the dollar value for the inventory. So that's the first thing to note. So we know that the company bought 600,000 kilograms of soap. They bought 100,000 at 110, 200,000 at 100, and 300,000 kilograms at 90. Okay, we can also see that the prices were declining over time. And then the text mentions that they sold 520,000 kilograms, and they were able to specifically identify that 100,000 kilograms from the first shipment, 180,000 kilograms from the second, and 240 from the third were sold. So they bought 600,000 kilograms, they sold 520, so we're going to have a balance of 80,000 at the end of the period. And again, that closing balance in terms of kilograms is always going to be the same, okay? What's going to be different is, depending on the method that we use for the cost, our cost of goods sold and our ending balance is going to be different. So let's start with the specific identification. The text says that the entire 100,000 from the first shipment was sold. So we know 100,000 times 110 equals 11 million. 180,000 of the second shipment was sold. 180,000 times 100 is our 18 million. And 240,000 from the last shipment times 90 is 21,600,000. So you can see here I'm crediting out the kilograms, and here I'm crediting out the dollar value. So my cost of goods sold, debit cost of goods sold, credit inventory, is going to be 50,600,000 using the specific identification method. Now, regardless of any method, the purchases are going to be the same. It's always 58 million. That was our total cost. That's never going to be different. But what is going to be different is our cost of goods sold and our ending inventory. So if we bought 58 million of inventory, and sorry, this is in won, I'm showing dollar signs, but forgive me for that. So if we bought 58 million and we credit 50,600,000, we have an ending balance of 7.4 million. Okay. Moving on now to the weighted average, we know that we bought the 58 million. We bought 300,000 kilograms again, 100,000 at 110, 200,000 at 100, and 300,000 times 90. So if we do that math, that's these amounts over here. 100,000 times 110, 11 million, 200,000 times 100, 20 million, and 300,000 times the 90, 27 million. We get to our 58 million. 58 million divided by 600,000 kilograms that we bought is going to give us an average price per kilogram of 96.67. So we know that we sold 520,000 kilograms. 520,000 times 96.67 is going to give us 50,266,667. Okay, so again, we bought 58,000 using the weighted average. 520,000 times the average, 96.67, credit 50,266,667. We're going to have a closing balance on our inventory of 7,733,333. So it is lower cost of goods sold and a higher inventory balance using the weighted average when the prices are decreasing. Okay, now we're going to look at the difference between the FIFO and LIFO, and this is an important one. So a couple of things to note here. In this example, the prices were going down, okay? Often in the text, it refers to when prices are rising. But, you know, they can give you the question using any method. So in this case, the example, the prices are going down. So again, we purchased 600,000 kilograms. We sold 520,000 kilograms. So the first important things to note is that the ending balance in terms of kilograms is the same regardless of any method. I mentioned that. And our purchase amount that we bought is the same regardless of any technique that we use. That's the same. Now what's different is how we're accounting for the inventory in terms of our costs. So with our FIFO, we start from first in, first out. So we start from the top and we work our way down. With LIFO, last in, first out, we start from the bottom and we work our way back up, and that's why I like the T accounts. Again, on the left-hand side, I've got the units. On the right-hand side, I've got the inventory in terms of dollar value. So let's start with the FIFO again. We sold 520,000 kilograms. That means from the first purchase of 100,000, that entire 100,000 is gone. So 100,000 times 110, 11 million. The 200,000 from the second purchase is all gone. 200,000 times 100 is our 20 million. It's gone. And then finally, we're at 300,000. We know we sold 520,000, so it must be 220,000 from that last batch was sold. So that means 80,000 when you're using FIFO, 80,000 of the last batch of inventory is still there. So 220,000 times the 90, 19,800,000. So that means our cost of goods sold was 50,800,000. And we bought 58 million. And our cost of goods sold, debit cost of goods sold, credit inventory using FIFO, 50,800,000, means we had an ending balance of 7.2 million. And that's easy to understand using FIFO. First in, first out, those units are gone. What's left? It's 80,000 units at the 90. So if I do 80,000 units times the 90, I know I'm going to get to my 7.2 million, okay? Now, when we move to the LIFO, we're starting from the bottom and we're working our way back up. So 300,000 units from the last purchase is gone. Those are all gone. So 300,000 times 90, 27 million. 200,000 times 100, 20 million, they're all gone. Now, I have 20,000 kilograms left. It's 20,000 times 110 from that first purchase is 2.2 million. So you can see my cost of goods sold using the LIFO when prices are decreasing, last in, first out, is going to be less than the FIFO. My cost of goods sold is 49,200,000 and my ending inventory is the 8.8 million. Why? Because it's the 80,000 times the 110, last in, first out. What's left, it's my 80,000 units. Prices have been coming down, so my ending inventory under the LIFO is higher than using my FIFO. 80,000 times 110, that gives me my ending inventory here of the 8.8 million, okay? So as I said, this example is nice because prices were decreasing. You have to look at when prices are increasing. If prices are increasing, it's going to be the exact opposite. The LIFO cost of goods sold is going to be more than the FIFO, and therefore the inventory balance will be lower. Okay, so that's a quick example that sometimes takes a little bit of practice with regards to the different methods if you don't have a strong background in accounting. My advice is to set up the T accounts. On the left-hand side, your units. On the right-hand side, your dollar values. For FIFO, start from the top, work your way down. From LIFO, start from the bottom, work your way up. Okay, and that's the last slide for this LOS. Thank you.